Welcome to the Turkey Hunter Podcast, the original all-turkey, all-the-time podcast with your co-hosts Andy Galliano and Cameron Weddington.
In our weekly podcast, we're going to bring you some wild turkey calling tips like this.
From there, we're going to go into, she's aggravated, there's another hen that's challenged her, or she's challenging another hen. She's going to cut an excited yelp.
Advice from old pro turkey hunters like this.
The turkeys typically don't like, I think, more times than not, to travel in an easterly direction into the sun first thing in the morning, especially after he gets up. It's a blinding thing. It's just like you. It's hard for you to see into the sun.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have a choice, I'm going to try to make it so that I'm going to be on the west side in the morning, east side in the afternoon of a turkey.
Exciting live hunts like this.
Holy crap, they're coming. Holy cow. Oh, God.
Then we're going to teach you how to cook your bird with advice such as this.
With some fresh rosemary and garlic, and then cool that off and spread that along the inside of that butterflied turkey breast that we've seasoned on both sides.
Wildlife management tips for your property, especially with turkeys like this.
If you look at the type of habitats that turkeys need for nesting and brooding, that tends to be habitat that can be managed more successfly with growing season fire than with dormant season fire.
And hopefully along the way, we'll get plenty of these.
Well, on November the 28th of 1953, I was attached. When I popped out of my mom and the baby doctor spanked me on the bottom, I went, oh! And I've been doing it ever since.
I like that.
Thank you for tuning in. And now, for this week's show. Hello, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Turkey Hunter Podcast. You are listening to episode number 540, the annual airing of grievances, part dos, because it's Cinco de Mayo, with Kenny Mount. And I am your co-host and the guy who just stuck a fork in Alabama's turkey season.
Man, it's hard to believe that we're already here. I mean,
I know it.
Just a blink of an eye, but it's over for you. And I feel like my Tennessee season's over. You know, I hopefully get to hunt with somebody soon where I get to go again. But as far as me going, it's pretty much over.
Yeah.
Winding down.
Yeah.
But I guess I'll say I'm the co-host, and I'm your guy who needs to get his dog-proof trap back running. I had another couple raccoons had moved in while I was running around chasing turkeys.
Uh-oh.
So
They knew you were gone. They thought, all right, he's gone. He's never coming back.
Yeah. Well, I set off the trap because my wife made a good point that our dog sitter probably wouldn't need to go out and shoot the raccoon. I was like, come on. I mean, that should definitely be part of the job description.
That was part of your job description when you were interning for me with the mortgage company.
Yeah. I don't know about me and, our little dog sitter girl. There's just kind of a little difference there about killing raccoons probably, but maybe, I don't know, maybe she's a stone cold killer. I don't know. But anyway, I had to set off the dog proof, and my trail camera last night, there's a coon literally like scooping the corn out of the dog proof.
Uh-huh.
But it's set off. I got to go get it reset. And I don't think he'll be trap averse now that he's tasted the honey in there.
Yeah, I don't know about that. If you set it tonight or this afternoon, you'll have him tomorrow morning.
Yeah, that's what
That'll
I'm
make
saying.
him trap averse.
Yeah, he's used it now, so he definitely ain't gonna have an aversion to putting his paw in there.
Yeah.
So should snag him. I think there's two of them actually, so I can snag two of them, and that'll be it.
Yeah. Well, I could have gone today with the guy who has been wearing out the chipmunks. also, speaking of trapping, but I didn't do that. But man, so I trap and try to get rid of chipmunks because they tear up my yard. Well, now one of my neighbor's dogs has found where I keep one of the traps, and every time I get a chipmunk in it, he tears my yard up trying to get to the chipmunk that's in the trap. So I guess I'm gonna have to start trapping dogs too.
You may run into some problems there. You start trapping the neighbor's dog.
I don't know. It's a little dog. I believe I can fit it in one of my big have-a-hearts.
There you go. Well, the neighbor probably won't mind, I'm sure. And you're full of lies. If you telling people you're trapping because they tear up the yard, you're trapping chipmunks because you like to kill chipmunks. We all know it.
Well, I will say this. I'm going to name off my top 5: quail, pheasant, elk, wild turkey, and chipmunk. That's my favorite game meats out of all.
Oh, yeah.
So some chipmunk backstraps and hindquarters.
Some good stuff.
Over rice with some brown gravy. Man, you can't beat that.
Old monk straps. Those are, takes a lot of trapping to accumulate a meal's worth, but man, is it good when you get them.
Well, it's nothing to get a whole meal's worth around my house. I think I have eliminated, I'm going to say in the past 2 weeks is about when I started trapping again. I think that I have trapped 10.
Wow, pretty good.
And it's a guarantee when I leave town to go turkey hunting,
you're going to catch one.
There's one.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Well, that's why I set off the dog prep.
Yeah. And like your dog sitter, my wife does not like having to deal with chipmunks.
Yeah, she doesn't like murdering the chipmunks.
No. Well, she's not so anti-murdering as much as she is having to clean them. So.
And last time I was at y'all's place, you made, I think it was Great Grandma Galliano's secret monk recipe, where you put the bacon, the cream cheese, jalapeno. Man,
well, it's not
never
secret
had anything
anymore.
like it.
It's not secret anymore.
I think you even marinated them in Allegro to throw in just an incredible step that no one thinks of.
If you like bacon, cream cheese, and jalapenos, then you will really like the chipmunk popper.
Secret recipe.
That's all you can taste is bacon, cream cheese, and jalapenos, because there's just not a lot of meat in there.
Yeah,
from the monks.
Well, it doesn't matter. You can put shoe leather in there. It tastes the same. That's why everybody likes them.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Well, we got our annual secondary round of grievances with Kenny. I don't know that we've ever done a Kenny Mount show that we didn't cut into 2 parts, because we typically run about an hour-long episode, so we usually have long conversations with Kenny.
Yes, we do.
And I dropped off towards the end of this. At the time of recording this, my son was like 3 weeks old and absolutely giving us the business at nighttime. And this call ran pretty late, and he was letting us have it. And I decided it was in my best interest to go relieve my wife for a little while.
Yeah.
So I just, rather than cutting in and interrupting the conversation and saying, hey, I got to leave, and, I just exited the call. So that's why towards the end of this, I'm just not there anymore, just to clarify that.
Yeah.
So, but Andy handled the rest of it, and it's a great show with Kenny yet again. And I'm hoping he was wearing that Thunder Chicken hat we shipped him after our last interview.
He's probably wearing it all over the country right now.
Yeah, we shipped Kenny a Bottomland rope hat that said Thunder Chicken on it, flat bill. And I had the address made out to Shoot 'em at 50 Incorporated, because it's all of Kenny's favorite things. So anyway, he said it's the greatest gift he ever got.
Yes, indeed. How could it not be? How could it not?
And anyway, but it's good stuff. The last time I heard from him, he was completely fooled by our Hank Brookside episode, and I'm still getting texts about that episode from people that haven't figured out it's a April Fool's joke yet. That was an unbelievable success for the Turkey Hunter podcast.
I am getting messages on Facebook, not email or text messages anymore, but messages on Facebook that are pretty fresh, where what I'm getting is, hey, I was really upset with that episode, with that interview, and I turned it off. And then I listened to Darren Dawkins' interview the next week, that episode, and man, y'all got me.
Yeah.
So
Classic.
yeah, no doubt. And I could use this as my guy who I hunted with Hank this weekend.
Yeah, the man formerly known as Hank Brookside. So you hunted with him. You hunted with the legend himself.
I hunted with Hank Brookside this weekend, and we stepped on 3 poults, all males, so it was legal. So we killed 3 poults over the weekend, and we shot a Jake on the side of the road, on the side of the highway, but we stepped out of the vehicle and shot him at 85 yards, and it was just a heck of a hunt. And
in your opinion, of all that Hank Brookside said he did, what do you think was the most offensive hunt that Hank went on?
Oh,
I felt like I got a lot of heat on when he shot the bearded hen standing next to the gobbler. I think that one really spoke to people.
Oh gosh. That's a good question. What would have bothered me the most if I'd not known it was an April Fool's prank? I think there's still more that he could have done that really would have bothered me.
Oh yeah.
More than what he said. Like, and this is totally legal. Not everybody does it, but a lot of guys at bow hunt do it. They use those decapitating broadheads. I'm not crazy about that.
Yeah.
I've talked about it before on the show, not going to get into it. Totally legal. It's an effective means of killing a turkey. I'm just not a fan of it.
Well,
so
if you're doing it and then posting it on YouTube with a slow motion of the turkey's head getting chopped off, a la, Bomar or somebody, that's when it's like problematic. If you're truly doing it to give a very ethical kill of your turkey and then not posting pictures and videos all over it, go for it,
Yeah, but getting back to your original question, the shooting them with a rifle doesn't bother me so much. I just am not crazy about it. It happens a lot in Texas.
Yeah, I was going to go Texas with mine. I'll just under the corn, not calling with the double with 22s. I thought that was really next level.
Yeah.
It had a lot of aspects that I just really enjoyed.
I think the one in Colorado, the rifle kill in Colorado in the winter
caliber.
or fall. Yeah. Yeah. That one, I think that one probably is it for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we kicked it off with him blasting the one in Nevada heading to roost, which is also hilarious because there's like 2 trees in Nevada. So if you really did that, it would be. Oh, gosh. Anyway, I hate to rehash the episode again, but that just was classic. I think we rocked the turkey world with that one.
Yeah. Yeah. It was great. I think what was really good about that is we created an AI sensation.
Yeah, I forgot he's actually listed on AI like it's real.
You could go. I need to pull it back up because it may be. There may be more information out there now since we talked about it being a April Fool's prank. That episode being an April Fool's prank. But the week after the show, you could go on any of the AI models out there and type in "who is Hank Brookside," and it just popped up. Hank Brookside is a legendary turkey hunter who completed the U.S. Super Slam in one single year in a 12-month period. And he's been featured on shows like the Turkey Hunter podcast, talking about his turkey hunting adventures. And I mean, it's just
classic.
It is. So we created an AI sensation.
Created a monster.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, gosh. Well, if I hit the lottery this off season, I'm planning to get my pilot's license in a plane and become the real Hank Brookside.
The real Hank Brookside. You probably should just go ahead and buy that handle on IG. Not buy it, but get it.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, let's jump in and get talking to Kenny.
All right, man. See you on the other side.
You use all the technology that I use, probably, maybe a little bit less. I don't know. Maybe more. I don't know. But
I just use Onyx on my phone. That's the only technology I have for turkey hunting is Onyx on my phone. That's the only. I've looked at some of those other apps, and probably some of them are better. But I guess it's what I'm accustomed to. That's really. I don't mean to interrupt you, but that's the only technology I use. But that seems to be enough.
yeah. Well, do you
Is there
think
some better
since
stuff you're gonna tell me about?
No, because if there's something better out there, you're going to have to go find it yourself.
That's exactly what I wanted you to tell me.
Yeah, exactly. So
100%.
do you think that you are a better woodsman? If I took the technology away from you, do you think you're a better woodsman, the same woodsman you were, or a worse woodsman than you were before the technology?
Quite honestly, I don't want to sound, I don't want this to come across the wrong way, but that's the only reason I've ever done anything in this whole game is that's the only thing I could say that I have a strong background in is that part of the game, is understanding topography. And I don't know if it comes from growing up in the woods and playing in the woods as kids. That's all we did, growing up was play Army and run around in the woods and build forts, and just the older we got, the further we went and the more time we spent out there. I don't know if that was laying a foundation and I didn't realize it, or if it was just a natural gift, but you could take it away from me tomorrow, and I think I don't want this to sound the wrong way, but I think I'd just keep cruising. Now, does it mean that I may lose a turkey or two a spring that I gain with Onyx? Probably so, because you can shave a lot of time off sometimes getting to birds and stuff like that by looking at those maps and seeing things that don't get me wrong. But would it completely flip the game upside down for me? No, it would not. Not at all. No, not at all.
Okay.
I think it may save, it may prevent me from getting to some turkeys quicker and that I may not kill or whatever, but I wouldn't lose any sleep over it if they took all that away from us tomorrow. Matter of fact, I think it'd be awesome, but it's never going to happen. But I would give mine up at the drop of a hat if everybody else would give theirs up. I would lose no sleep about it, zero.
Yeah.
That's probably the most fair assessment of it that I've heard, where like you would admit, and I would too, without Onyx, I probably would kill, less turkeys per spring.
Yeah,
but,
I think so. But
I agree with you in that if everybody else give theirs up, I'm in. Game on.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, man. It's, there's some turkeys, like that whole app and all that stuff. Look at a video on YouTube once again. Everybody on the YouTube videos, what do? They pull out their phone and look where they're going on the Onyx. I mean, it's second nature for us. Like, look, I can't get on my bandwagon on that one because I'm just as guilty as everybody. I use it every day too, so I'm guilty as charged. But I would have no problem throwing that phone in a safe for turkey season and just going hunting. It'd be awesome.
Yep.
And then look at and we're with the shot we shoot now and some of these distances these guys advocate killing turkeys even because you're shooting tungsten. It's like we've talked about that ad nauseum in the past. I don't know. I mean, if you think shooting at a turkey really like even 50 yards, say you misjudge one, kill him at 50. All right, well, good deal. But like if it's okay if he's out there strutting on a bench and he's 65 yards and you think, well, man, I got a goddamn tungsten in here. What the hell am I doing? I'm gonna kill him. You need to go find something else to get into, man. I don't care. 60 yards, I don't give it. You're shooting an RPG at him or a howitzer or a M60 belt-fed machine gun. I don't care. That's too goddamn far to kill a turkey. Plain and simple. Like when the whole tungsten thing came out, the pioneer of it or whatever, Hal, he was doing it to carry 28 gauges and light guns. It wasn't, man, we got this load in here, let's dust one at 80. I don't know any of my friends that shoot TSS that ever switched to TSS to gain distance. It was so we didn't have to carry a goddamn 7.5 pound 12 gauge. It was solely because we spent so much time on our feet. It was so much more comfortable putting a 5.5 pound, 6 pound gun over your shoulder than it was a goddamn Mossberg 835 that felt like you had a cord of firewood on your back, or an 1187. Those things were heavy, when they came out. But so I don't know, man. These kids now, I mean, I mean, people killing them at 60, 70 yards, man, that's a poke. Or maybe I'm old, but to me, that's a long shot.
Kenny, did you see after our last podcast last year, we sent you a hat, if you remember?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Did you
yeah.
see
Don't worry.
who
I
it
haven't
was
let that.
addressed to? Did you see
I
your
don't
address
remember.
in there?
I don't remember.
It was shoot
See,
'em at
I'm getting as old.
70. It was shoot 'em
Oh,
at
was it?
70 ink.
That's a hell of a stretch, though, man. 70, God Almighty. You ever shot one at 70? I haven't. Not even close.
I have not. I thought you'd like that. So we sent Kenny a Thunder Chicken rope hat in Mossy Oak Bottomland that was addressed to Shoot 'em at 70 Incorporated.
Oh, I love it, man. I was hunting with a good friend of mine. I'm just sitting here, and I got a tick crawling on my leg. Those jokers are already out bad. I was hunting in Mississippi last spring, and I was hunting with a friend of mine, and we struck, well, I say we struck him. I think he gobbled in his own, to be exact. And it was probably about 9:30 or so in the morning. He was down the bottom of this creek bottom, so we just followed the creek and went straight down there to him. He's gobbling on his own, man. It's one of those deals where you just don't find a whole lot of turkeys just gobbling their head off by themselves at 9 in the morning, the first part of the season. And we get set down there, and he sits on the right side, and I sit on the left, and he's all jacked up, to get the yelping of this turkey, and he calls to him, and that turkey just crushes it, and it's not if he's going to come, it's just when's he going to get here. And it wasn't long, and you see the gobbler coming, and we spot him. He's at like 11 o'clock, 11:30, give or take. And he's slowly angling. He's angling toward 4 o'clock. He's kind of going to, or 3 o'clock, he's kind of going to cut across in front of us here going from left to right. I never even pulled my gun up because when the turkey gets into view, he's like we probably see him at, 80, 90 yards, give or take. And there's some of those little short ditches in there that are famous in Mississippi, and he's coming, and I see all that trash out there, and I'm like, man, he's gonna flank us because of that crap. He didn't come far enough to the left, and he's kind of going across in front of us at an angle, and I'm just watching him, and I'm thinking we're gonna have to let this joker get by and reposition on him or whatever. And that turkey comes by out there, and all of a sudden, dude, my buddy's gun goes off. And that turkey you would have thought a Peterbilt full of logs just hit him doing 100. I mean, he flipped over backwards, dead as a hammer. And I looked over at him, and I was like, I'm not going to tell you what I said, but I was like, holy, what just happened? And he's looking at me like, what? And I'm like, how far was that turkey? This is a big open kind of swamp bottom stuff. And I go, man, stay right here for a second. I kind of put a damper on the moment. It was totally accidentally, but I'm like, I got to go see something. And I walked out there, and I got about 3/4 of the way to the turkey, and I turned and looked at my buddy sitting against a tree, and I'm like, holy hell, that's already too far, And I go a little further, and I pick the turkey up, and I'm standing there at the gobbler, and I look back, and I shoot him with a rangefinder. And he was like 62 yards.
Jeez.
And he said he had shot some trees and just misjudged when the gobbler came in the lane. And I could not get over how far 61 or 62 yards in the timber actually was. Maybe my eyes are bad.
That's a long shot.
And he admitted and what I couldn't get is the way the gobbler reacted to the shot. Had I tried that turkey at that far, I would have had to chase him down. He would have crippled, or I would have missed him. But he must have got every pellet he could in that turkey's head, because it just, when you shoot them with TSS, a lot of times it just stones them. And that's what it did to him. And I could not get over how far 62 yards from the bottom of a tree was. I was like, that's the furthest shot I've ever seen in the woods. Maybe I've lived a sheltered life, but that was a shot. I would never do that, knowing it was 62 yards, but he got lucky. Let's put it that way.
Probably just stoned him to it.
Man, that's a stretch, bro. 62 yards. Wow.
I can't imagine that's a haul. I have shot turkeys before where I was like, oh my God, that was so far. I cannot believe I just shot that turkey. And I step it off and it's like 38. I'm like, okay, well, that was actually not that bad.
If you could pick a yardage to shoot every one of them, what would it be?
30. 25 to 30. Good pattern opening up.
Yeah, I'd go a little further, 30, 35.
I'm not trying to be the odd man out here, but about 32, 33 yards in that mid to low 30 range.
That's me.
That is if you could kill them all at 30, 32 steps, that'd be, oh, in my life, that'd be perfect, man.
I'll change my vote, actually. If I could kill them all, 5. I'll take them at 5.
Yeah,
But
that's tough.
I will miss them. If I'm wanting to kill, I would say 30 yards is the perfect range. Your pattern opens enough where you little wiggle room, but you're going to kill him. But
oh, man,
if I could choose, I'd take him at 1. The closer, it just gets so intense.
Yeah, it's 30 yards, that's ideal, man. When they get inside like 15 yards, accidentally, obviously, then that can, man, the margin of error just skyrockets, and I don't care if it's Josie Wales. I mean, it's tough to shoot a turkey that's 10 yards or even closer with a shotgun, and because a lot of the times when they get that close on you, they're surprising you because they pop out behind a tree or pop over a rise unexpectedly and they're in your lap. Very rarely are you able to watch a turkey and then you're like, oh, he's already at 10 yards, you need to shoot him. I mean, it's most of the time it's a surprise, and it's hard to. Those can be really hard shots.
I'd miss 2/3 of them, but man, you're just talking to me right now, and I'm like, I would love that right now. Turkey at 10 yards. Oh,
Kenny, one year, this has been about 8 years ago, and I'm not going to tell you I did anything other than pick the right tree, but I got in on this turkey. It was a full moon, and I knew I was going to have to get in there early because I knew exactly the tree he was roosted in. And before I left out of the woods, I found the tree I wanted to be on that next morning. I went and sat on that morning, and it was an hour and a half before it was ever going to crack daylight. And fast forward, he starts gobbling as it starts to crack day, and that joker pitched out of the tree. And when he stopped running after he flew down, he was on the sole of my boot, and I missed him twice.
Oh, yeah.
And I did nothing. I didn't, because I won't call to a turkey on the roost at home. If I'm out of state, it's a little different in the circumstances. I'm not going to say I call to every single one if I'm in the Northeast or out West or whatever on the roost, but most of the time I'll call to them there. They seem to be a little more receptive there than they do at home when you're calling to them on the roost. But I had not said a word. I'm not saying I did anything other than pick the right tree, but he was on the sole of my boot when he stopped running. And when he stopped running, he realized I have screwed up.
Was that after the first or second shot?
Both. It actually was before the first and after the second. He realized that. But, man.
You'll never forget it, though.
Never forget it. And to talk about get your blood pumping, woo.
Man, it sucks, though, to have encounters like that, and then next thing you know, it's over with at the blink of an eye, and you have nothing to show for it, and you're just blown away mentally that the turkey somehow was able to get that close to you. And then, when you do it long enough, you're not near as shocked, but you say to yourself, how can you have a turkey that close and let him get away? Well, if it hasn't happened to anybody listening, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I mean, I had one last spring do that to me. I was set up on another gobbler and, had my attention focused to this gobbler, and it was in a, pine forest. And all of a sudden I call movement to my left, and this gobbler pops out, and he's literally like 7 or 8 steps. And, as I watched him fly off after the shot, your mind is like, what in the heck just happened? And then you regain consciousness and you realize he's freaking 8 steps from you. And how big is your pattern at 8 steps? Well, it's, what is it? A Titleist, if that? And one little move to the left or right, and you just buzzed him, and it was just, then a minute later you're laughing. You're like, well, if I'm going to miss one, that's the shot to miss instead of one standing in the wide open at 30 steps.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, man, as long as I do this, as long as you guys do this, as long as everybody I know that has done this, you are going to miss turkeys. I don't care how nice your gun is, who you are. And if you claim that you're this goddamn, crack shot on turkeys all the time, well, boss man, you're not shooting many of them. And it never gets easy. It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't matter how many years you've been doing it, how many you've killed, all that crap's irrelevant. It still pisses me off to no end when I do it. You know what I mean?
I'm amazed at the number of them that can get me twisted up. Like I've had a bottle of bourbon and been playing Twister for 4 hours with 8 other people.
Absolutely.
And I'm shooting at them upside down, left-handed, with my right big toe on the safety. I mean, I'm like, how can they manage to do that? But yet they manage to get you just all twisted up and put in the most awkward positions and coming from the last direction you ever expect them to come in from, while you're staring at the sun as it rises over the horizon and your eyes are just watering because you can't see anything from being blinded. I mean, it's crazy to me.
They have an uncanny ability to get themselves out of danger. And I don't, like I said, I mean, you can't say it enough. These kids that think they're invincible and, you know, going out here and killing all these turkeys, I mean, if that's how it's working out for them and they're not running into strings of bad luck and all that, in my opinion, it's coming. I don't know anyone that's done this that, you know, yeah, you can have those streaks to where you feel like you can do no wrong, but just as quick as those, you know, can get here, they can disappear, and then you can find yourself in one to where it doesn't matter how many years you've done it. You could be in situations that you can't figure out why the things that are happening are actually happening. You're not changing your strategy. Your approach is the same. Everything that you've always done that's worked for you, you're still doing it. You're paying attention to the little things, but it's just not working out. Mm-hmm. And I've had years, especially when I was younger, that I would get in those spunks and it would eat me alive. It would eat me alive. I'd let it eat me, you know, from the inside out, just wondering why this stuff's happening. And I don't think it can be controlled. I just think that there's something in the universe that comes into play when we do this, that it's just a lot of the times it's just not going to work out in your favor. And you have got to understand that and get up every day and just keep chopping wood. But I think it's a roller coaster that really never flattens out, if that makes sense. I don't think you ever reach a point in this game to where it becomes second nature. Yes, you're going to get more proficient, more consistent. You're going to kill more turkeys, all that stuff. But you are still going to have ups and downs. It's never going to be cruise control.
Yeah.
There's just too many variables, and they have an ability it's just second to none to get themselves out of a predicament in the last second. Isn't it funny how they can do that?
It's such a mental game of you will go days and think, I can't do this anymore. Like, whatever's happened to me, I'm just, something's messed up. And then all of a sudden it happens in 3 minutes. I mean, it can happen so fast. And then it's like, oh my gosh, this was amazing. And then you may kill one the next day and you're like, oh, now I'm an expert. It's such an up and down sport. You're dead on.
But you know, I know we're not going to go down any more rabbit holes tonight, but what you just said is very important, and you guys need to, you may have done this in the past and I missed it. If you have, my apologies. Talk about the mental aspects of it, because that's something nobody ever talks about. You don't hear people on a podcast going, hey man, let's talk about the mental aspects of turkey hunting. It's like, hey boss, what you carry in your vest every spring? Let's go through your vest real quick. What you got in your vest? Well, who cares, man? I don't give a what you guys. What's that?
That's a great point.
Yeah, and it's like, because let's talk about that. That is far more important than how good your hen yelp is, or how good your gun shoots, or how good your camo looks. The mental game of it, man, that's clutch. And look, I have struck out at it numerous times and probably still will. But I know some guys that are really sharp mentally when it comes to turkey hunting, and they do very well at it, you know?
Yeah.
Yep. I see it.
Andy, you taught me this, actually, when I was still in college, and I hunted with you, and I missed a turkey out of state, and it really bothered me. I was very negative after that. And, I mean, you just squarely looked me in the eyes. I mean, I'm a college kid, you know, whatever. And you said basically along the lines of, like, you need to get out of your negativity. We're going to go kill a turkey. And that has seriously stuck with me to this day. Of if you're not positive and you don't have the mental fortitude to go through the misses, the mishaps, the bumps, the, you know, whatever with turkey hunting, you're not going to last. You're not going to kill many turkeys. You have got to believe in your soul that over the next hill, a turkey is going to gobble and come running to his death. And if you don't believe that, then you're not in it.
Go home.
Oh my gosh.
Just go home.
Ever since I changed my mindset on that, and now, I mean, every step I take, I believe, is towards a dying, ready to go turkey. And my success rate's gone up so much. So you're dead on with that, Kenny. The mental game that is turkey season. You get tired, you get so down, and oh, I just don't know how to do this anymore. I'm so tired, and you just got to get through all that crap. And the mental game of it's huge.
I can remember back in the early 90s when I was turkey hunting with some guys that kind of really helped show me the ropes. There was one of them in particular, and he was a really good woodsman, and he was just consistent when it came to killing turkeys. And, I finally had proven my worth to these guys. It took a while, and I got to go hunt with this guy, right? And that was kind of a big deal. So we go up on this mountaintop one morning, and we hear this old gobbler down below us, and he flew down, and long story short, he stayed low, so we went down there with him. Well, about the time we decided to fall off and go to him, he made his mind up he was going to come to the top. Imagine that. And he starts beelining to the top, and then we have to flank around, and we end up getting up there with him, and the gobbler comes up, and the guy shot and missed him. And he looked over at me, and he said, "I'm done. That's it for the day. No more. If I missed one, I'm done." We were gone. So here I am looking up to this dude, who's pretty rough on him. So I'm thinking, well, okay, maybe that's the way to do it. You miss one and you hang it up and you go start from scratch. So I probably did that a handful of times. And then I got to the point where I was like, what the hell? I'm not going to fix it if I'm not there. And to put it mildly, I had a time not too many years after that, dude, I missed 2 in one day, and I never left the woods. I said, I'm not leaving till I kill one. And I got on the 3rd one and I killed him. I mean, how many times do you miss 2 in one day? And then you stay in there and you get a 3rd shot at one.
Man.
But it's I've killed turkeys the same day I've missed them.
Oh, yeah.
And it obviously depends on the situation, the mood, and everything else. That's not a given, don't get me wrong. But, you can't do those things if you're not willing to put the gloves on and fight.
Yeah.
And that's you can't buy that. You can't go to Cabela's or I can't tell you how to do that. You can't tell me how to do that. But that stuff right there that's like Onyx. That'll put a few more turkeys under your belt if you've got the mindset to do it. That nothing's going to get between you and that turkey. It doesn't matter.
Man, that's dead on. I've had several states in which I've missed turkeys, which I will be the first man on earth to miss a turkey in every state. So I hope you're ready for that. But I have, under multiple circumstances, missed a turkey, and then the gear in which I get after I miss a turkey is I wouldn't want to be a turkey at that point.
Can be motivating.
So motivated to kill at that point. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because you're angry. I missed this gobbler standing there 30 yards. How did I miss him? I'm going to go kill one now. And it is a motivating factor, whereas, like you said, that guy just gave up because he missed. He's done for the day. And you cannot get that way. You can't.
It just ruins it because it's such a low feeling, and then you got to carry that feeling all day. And then, it's you may not, if you miss one, you may not, it doesn't mean you're going to get to redeem yourself if you stay out there. There's no guarantees, obviously. But it'll make you feel better when you do decide to clock out that day that you kept putting in the time, and you're that much closer to it working out.
Wow.
You're that much closer. If you clock out, you're not gaining points. And this is all about gaining points. And the only way you build points is time. And if you're not putting in the time, your chance of being rewarded is few and far between. And that's my take on it. That's why we have to go every day. That's why we have to do this, because you've got to go through the grind. And there is no graduating from the grind. I don't care how many years you do it. Like I've said numerous times tonight, you are always going to get in a grind. I don't care. You may not be this year. You may go out this year and make every move right, sit down, everything work out. Yeah, you're on top of the world. Buddy, you better be looking over your shoulder next year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because could be waiting on you.
No, that's accurate. And, you know, I don't want to say we've been negative on this show. We've been kind of harping on several topics. And so I was going to ask, I want to pose this question to you and Andy. From today, knowing what we know, we are where we are. For someone who turkey hunts, where do we go from here with access and continue to hunt? What would you recommend to turkey hunters out there as far as where do you go? How do we act in order to continue this tradition we have?
That's $1 million question, don't you think?
I do. And so I'm asking you because I need $1 million.
Man, I think it's pretty, my answers is, I've got to be one of the strangest guests you guys have ever interviewed, because it's like I'm the only person that, you probably cross paths with who doesn't do everything like everybody else does. And if you don't follow the mold, then you're obviously an outsider or whatever. So my opinion is obviously going to be more geared toward the way I condone my matters, which doesn't make it right. But if you want to know my opinion, and this will never happen, ever, because of change, but people would realize that less is more. Like I said earlier, that you don't need to advertise everything you do in this sport. Do you advertise everything you do in your life? I mean, like, whatever happened to, like, I don't mean we don't need to share things with people and we need to become hermits. That's not what I'm advocating. I'm just saying that, like, where does it come into the people's mind that if you do something, is your goal not to get good at it? If you're going to start playing tennis on the side, do you want to be a tennis player that gets your beat every time you go out and play? Or do you want to get a little bit better and be competitive and, you know what, ever slip up every once in a while and win a match? If you don't want to win, what the hell are you playing for? So my point is, if you get persistent at hunting turkeys, why did you feel like you need to advertise that to everybody? What was your goal when you started? Was your goal not to get persistent? Every time you accomplish a goal, do we need to have a goddamn parade for you? I mean, that's what I don't get. But see, that's a weird reclusive mindset to have. I'm not saying that my way is the right way. And here I am on a podcast. Granted, you guys are the only people I ever talk to on a podcast. I'm not on the circuit, and I'm not hanging up with y'all and doing another one or whatever. You're the only people I ever talk to. Nobody else wants somebody this weird on their podcast, and I get it because I'm not in the mold of today's turkey hunter. They don't want to talk to somebody like me who disagrees with the way they do things. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I get that loud and clear, but I also understand this is just my opinion and it does not make it right. But the whole look at me premise of today's turkey hunter grinds my gears. I just wish people, I don't know, I wish it was just a little bit more under the radar than it is. But dude, that ain't never going to happen, man. So remember the old saying, wish in one hand and do something in the other one, see which of them fills up first. Well, there you have it. I mean, it's when I know people that have turkey hunted as long as I have, and they're doing this silly old stuff on social media, it's out of hand. Because if they don't have enough sense to see what they're doing, they're too far gone.
Man, I think that's a big deal. What you just said there is a subsect of people who, no matter the reason you tell them, hey, you promoted this and now Florida's doing this and you did that, and you can show them tangible reasons why what they're doing is toxic and they will not change. It's
like if you're the baddest dude at the bar, do you need to wear a shirt in there that says I'm the baddest dude at the bar? Or are you just going to go in there and mind your business and pray to God you never ever have to show anybody that you're the baddest guy in the room? Isn't the baddest guy in the room the guy?
That example.
Isn't the baddest guy in the room the guy who doesn't announce he's the baddest guy in the room?
The fact.
Are you worried about me if I come walking in the bar with a muscle shirt on, loud and banging my fist down and causing all kind of trouble? You probably don't need to worry about me too much. You probably need to worry about that other guy in the corner over there who's got his back to the wall, who's watching every move everybody makes. He keeps himself in position. If he needs to make a move, he can make it. Who's smart and quiet and keeps everything under the radar. Not now, though. If we go into a bar now, everybody in there's the baddest guy in the room. I'm selling out I'm the baddest guy in the room T-shirts in the parking lot, and it's like everybody wants to be recognized.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
I am the weird man because I don't want to be recognized. And I know that I'm kind of contradicting that. Maybe I should have told you to pound sand. I don't want to be on your podcast, but I'm not rude. I don't mind talking to y'all about it, you know?
Well,
It's
no,
like,
I think it's important to have people like yourself, like us, who say the opposite of you don't have to find your identity and get your, I guess, dopamine hit from people liking your turkey kill pictures / videos.
if you can't find your identity in the timber hunting turkeys, if you can't figure it out in the woods with just you and the turkey, there may be something else missing. Like, that's all I've ever needed. I don't know about y'all, but, and Lord willing, this will happen again to the three of us this year. I hope so anyway. That morning we're going to have, and I know you've been to Florida, it may already happen for you. You may be ahead of us, but it's like that morning, that first morning or the last morning and the ones in between, Lord willing. I don't know about y'all, but I feel, I can't describe the feeling I get when I go turkey hunting. And I don't necessarily have to kill a turkey sometimes to feel on top of this world by any means. But some of those times when I am lucky enough to find a stupid one, and then I get to sit there at the tree with him and spend some time after the whole thing, kind of relive it and just soak the moment up. Don't have to be in a hurry. Nobody with you. You're just you, the turkey, and the moment. Time literally almost stands still. That feeling alone right there is really all I need. I don't need to sit at that tree and send you guys photographs of this dead turkey to get your validation. The validation came when I got to play the game. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's all the validation I needed. I don't need to run out of the woods and haul over to the sporting goods store and get my picture put on the bulletin board for the biggest beard contest. So it's like, that's just how I operate. You're interviewing me. You're asking me these questions. I'm explaining to you how I see it. I don't expect you or anyone else to see it that way. But I feel like that a lot of people are missing the point, that the point of this whole game. And like, if they would just hold off on getting everybody's opinion and just try to absorb the moment a little bit more. It's like, I don't know, if people could just slow down, maybe that's another angle to answer your question, but it's, I don't know. I don't want people to do it the way I do it, though. You see how confusing this can get? Like, I just want to go do my thing and everybody leave me alone and you go do your thing. As long as you don't come on my side of the street and I don't come on yours. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I basically want everyone else to quit turkey hunting and just leave it to me.
That ain't happening. I agree. That'd be awesome.
Wouldn't it?
Oh, that'd be awesome. 100%. Yeah, it's insane, man. It's nuts, dude. But I
Andy,
don't know. I mean, you guys started a podcast. I mean, you know, there's and once again, look how many new podcasts we get each year. Turkey hunting podcast.
Oh my gosh, every turkey hunter has a podcast now. I totally agree
check
with
it
that.
out. I was talking to a friend of mine a couple of weeks ago. He was bringing me up to speed on a new one he heard. I travel a lot for work, so I'm always looking for something to listen to. How many of these kids are watching these podcasts just to learn the sport? These kids will have a podcast. You can tell within 5 minutes of them, all right, these dudes probably ain't killed, between them, how many ever guys are on there, they probably ain't killed 15 or 20 turkeys. And they're interviewing these people just to pick their brain to learn what the hell to do. It's blatantly obvious. I'm like, they have no knowledge of what to do, so they're getting people on here to interview them because of the questions they're asking them. I'm like, this is like a turkey hunting 101, you know? Hey, man, what kind of gun you shoot? What kind of shells you shoot? What you got in your vest? What you carry in your vest? Tell me about your locator calls. What locator calls you like? Man, the minute I hear that, I'm exiting out. You know,
Yeah.
I'm gone.
I don't think we have we've become that. I think
Andy
started a podcast before anybody in this earth had heard of podcasts, including myself. And
dude, I was sitting on Dave Owens' couch. It had to have been over a decade ago when Andy first interviewed him. He was walking around the house on his phone, and I'd never heard of Andy or anything like that. And he said, yeah, this guy called. He wants to do a podcast. And that was the first time he ever interviewed Dave. I think it was a solo show back then. I don't think you were involved.
Probably.
Yeah. And, that was like, that had to have been like a long time ago. Like, I don't know how many years Andy's been doing this, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up, but I think the first week in April, I believe, will be 12 years that I've been doing the podcast.
Wow.
Well, whenever you first interviewed Dave, that I was sitting in his house that night. We used to be neighbors, and we were always hanging out. And he was like, "I got to go get this call," and I'm like, "What do you mean a podcast? What are you talking about?"
Yeah, what is that?
What is going on? Yeah. Oh, you're a big timer now.
Yeah, well, and there are probably 8 people who listened to that episode.
Yeah, it had to have been around 15 or 16, or maybe when he was finishing his slam or something, because I think he finished in 16. So that would have been about that time frame, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it's weird how time flies. But
yeah.
All right, well, let's take a positive spin. Kenny, what do you think on a positive aspect for turkeys and turkey hunting? What do you think from today? What would be a positive move for our culture?
man, you have really, really got me backed in a corner on these last 2 questions. I love it. These are good ones. These I'm gonna give it to you. These are probably the best 2 you've ever asked me. These are not that there's been anything wrong with the previous ones, but this is deep because I'm sitting here thinking, man, I'm about to draw a blank with this answer because I really don't know what we can do positive because it seems so out of control. It's like how do we even slow it down? I mean, everybody's a professional now. Everybody has their channels, their hunting videos, they're influencing and all that. I don't know. I mean, how do you even get it to slow down? I mean, what can we do positive? I don't really know, man. You've got me completely baffled right now. Is this something that I'm just overlooking that's just so obvious?
I think for me, at least, positive momentum would be one, someone like yourself who has been on and could influence a YouTube channel, maybe recommending that we stop naming states. I think that would be a positive influence. And then I think these days, as far as private land is concerned, there are a lot more resources and research out there that are helping private landowners promote turkey habitat. And I think that's actually being used, trapping turkey habitat, those kind of things. So I think the private landowner is more informed now than ever for promoting turkeys. And I'm just trying to take a positive spin. Obviously, as we've discussed on this call, there's a ton of negativity with turkey hunting. But I think if you're very popular YouTubers would quit under some circumstance, just quit naming states and promoting the Super Slam. We've done that on this podcast. We used to do the same thing, not casting blame. We now bleep out state names. We do not promote the states because it's to that point. We have so many turkey hunters, we can't say a state name without possibly impacting their hunting. And that's just a fact. And so I think if we could get a culture that got away from that and then take the positive of your private landowners are promoting more turkeys than ever, I think we could take a positive spin on what's happened in the past couple of years. And that's just me trying to be an optimist because there's a lot of negativity in this world right now with turkey hunting.
Yeah, and I want to apologize to you guys, and especially the people that are going to be dumb enough to listen to this. But I do want to apologize because I would have never planned to go into this evening, with such a negative, tone or whatever. I never meant for it to be that way. But, just sitting in my seat and the view I have of it, I don't have a lot of positive thoughts about it right now today. And the last time we spoke and the time before that, it's just been trending this way. And look, man, to beat a dead horse, we're lucky we get to go. It's great. What a great gift. Yes, I get it. But it's gotten so muddy and so watered down. And it's like I said a minute ago, the ball is rolling, at a monumental speed, and I don't know how to slow it down. The private management habitat, that's great. That doesn't benefit me much, because I don't get to go out and do that. I think you need to do it because it helps the population. Which if you help the population, it helps the population. Period. So you got to do that. Those things are great, but it's like, it just, every year we're getting new regulations, new increases in licenses, new draws. We lose more and more opportunity. I can't even hunt the first goddamn week of my home state. Like, it just, right now, there's just a sour taste in my mouth. Doesn't mean I don't love turkey hunting. Doesn't mean I don't I don't wish any ill will about the people who are doing this stuff. It's just like, I don't think people are really thinking before they act with a lot of the stuff they're doing. Like, because if you really cared about the sport and you really wanted it to get better, a large percentage of these people would just take a step back. That was the whole motivation of the question of why are so many people building YouTube channels for turkey hunting and all that? Why are they doing it? Is it for monetary gain? Is it for fame? What is it for? Because unless you and I were going to start a YouTube channel and we knew in X amount of years we were going to be making a pile of money, I really don't want to go through the trouble of doing it. Do you?
Man, I wouldn't do it for a pile of money at this point. I just don't want to screw myself out of having the chance to go turkey hunt.
Well, it's just, I don't know. And I'm not knocking people that choose it. Like the guys like we mentioned, like Dave and Hunting Public, those guys that got in the scene early, that they have to do it for a living. I get that. But all these other people that are doing it now, they're not doing it for a living. So
But
it's
do
like,
they? So here's my question to you: do they have to? Why do they have to put? The YouTube handle of the video will be something like Wyoming public land turkey. Why do they have to put that?
honestly, I can't answer that. I don't. I've never asked Dave or anyone else that, of course, he's really the only person I know that does it. But I've never asked or thought too much about it as far as that goes. I know some of them, like I mentioned earlier, and I haven't kept up with it in great detail, but have cut back on it. Some of them have just maintained the pace they've always had. I think a lot of it would probably be because a lot of those people are in situations that regardless of really what happens, they're still going to get to hunt them every day that you can hunt them. Does that make sense?
Yeah. They're not the
Like
average Joe. They don't have families. They don't have, they're not the average turkey hunter, is what you're saying.
I'm saying that, like, if you can hunt 90 days of spring or however long the whole thing lasts, it doesn't affect you as bad if you have to get drawn to go to Missouri, for example. You can just go somewhere else. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
Your options are far more open than somebody like, me or, maybe you or Andy or whoever else that maybe have to do a little bit more planning. Well, then their rebuttal can be simple. Well, that's your fault. You chose the career. You chose to be a financial analyst. Andy chose, I think he works in the mortgage business, right?
Yeah.
We chose our paths. I sell building materials. Hey, I could have done the same thing. I could have started a YouTube channel and launched a career in the outdoor industry. I had the same opportunity they do, right? There's truth to that. But no, I couldn't. I was too far gone in my life, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying I was too far rooted with other responsibilities that I couldn't walk away from. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And Kenny, I'll be honest, if you started your own YouTube channel where it was just you solo, I bet you would blow up. Seriously. But you're not going to.
I don't have any desire to do that.
I know. I'm just telling you, like, from what I know about you and people I know who've seen you on the Pinhoti project, you personally could be huge, but you don't want to. And that's what's awesome.
Well, I don't know if that view would change if I didn't have any responsibilities. It probably would not. I really don't know. I've never been in that position. It's hard for me to speak of something I really don't know about. But I just think some of these other guys that that do it, this is what they do for they hunt for a living. I mean, some of them make good money at it. And look, if you can do it every day and you don't have anywhere to be but in the woods, you can make it work. Plain and simple. I mean, if you can't go to one state, well, just go to the other one. No problem. You got anywhere else to be,
That's it. But that's not the average guy. They can't do that.
No, and a lot of those dudes did make sacrifices, in order to get to that point, X amount of years with making no money or whatever. That's just anything you do, you're going to have to pay your dues. But I don't know. I just think a lot of the people that do it are not on equal ground, if that makes sense, as far as like what one YouTuber does versus the next or whatever. Like, I know there's some people out there that just want those guys' heads on a platter. And I get that. I really do. But here's the deal, man. Nobody's going to quit. That stuff's not going to dry up tomorrow. They're not. It's just going to get worse and worse. So how do you regulate it? I don't think you can. I mean, there's a lot of talk now of people getting charged to film on public land. What's your thoughts on that? If somebody profits from a video that's filmed on public land, should they have to pay in order to get that footage? You ever thought about that?
I've never thought about that, but I don't know. The land is as much theirs as it is mine. So no, I don't know.
That's tough, isn't it? Yeah, I read recently on maybe it was on like the old Gobbler forum or something. I'm old school and I actually still read some of that stuff from time to time. Maybe it was on one of those and somebody had brought it up that they felt like that the guys who filmed hunts on public land should have to pay additional money if they're making profits from the videos from the public land. I've never really looked at it from that angle, and I'm like, if somebody wants to push that hard, somebody somewhere may listen, you know?
Yeah, I just don't know how you can enforce that, but
yeah, absolutely.
What do I know? I'm sure, sure there's a way to do it somehow, but
it's people are going to be creating all kind of avenues to hit anyone involved in this game, you know?
Yeah. Well, and so Cameron, I don't know, he seemed to be having some issues. Oh, here he is. He's back, but he was having some issues with his phone and he dropped off the call for a little bit. But, he'd asked the question of what can we do that would be something positive for the sport? And my answer to that question would be, I don't disagree with you, Kenny, in the least. I think we're at a point of no return as far as social media, as far as YouTube, any of that's concerned. I don't think we're coming back from that ever. But all these people that are out there just taking from the resource and not giving back, and there's a lot of them. There are a lot of people that do that. Other than buying a license for 4 states, 20 states, whatever they're doing, they could be doing more. And just little stuff, make a donation to the NWTF and to TFT for every turkey you kill. Buy a Mossy Oak turkey stamp for every turkey you kill. I mean, if you're hunting in 14 states and you're the best turkey hunter you got to be killing 40 turkeys in those 14 states. So, donate $25 for a turkey, for each turkey. How about go to the public ground in your own home state, and when it's legal to do so, trap some predators. Don't just trap coons. My 128-year-old grandmother could trap raccoons, learn how to trap coyotes, learn how to trap bobcats, and go trap predators. If you're taking from the resource, give back more than just buying a license. Give some of your time and give some of your money.
Yeah, and I'm sure, I would hope that the good ones out there, whether it's, announced or not, are definitely using their position to do some things like that. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. How many...
What these guys do, I don't know anything about it.
And okay, so true confession time. I, in my lifetime, have maybe watched 5 turkey hunting videos on YouTube. Maybe 5 in my entire lifetime. So maybe this is out there already and I haven't seen it because I'm ignorant when it comes to all of the videos out there. But have any of the big YouTubers gone and done a video of them at their local banquet, whether it's a TFT banquet or a NWTF banquet? Have they done videos and posted those online of habitat projects going on on a piece of public ground in their area, or any state for that matter, and put up a link at the end of that video that said, hey, if you want to contribute to this, you can actually contribute money to Dr. Mike Chamberlain's project that he has going on, and here's a link to do it. Have any of them done that? I don't know, because I haven't seen.
I don't know either. That's the side I don't know enough about that. If they have, I haven't seen it. But like I said, I mean, if you're right, what I just watched as far as all that stuff's concerned is some of the hunting. It's, but what you just said about like the biologist there, Chamberlain, like you take somebody like me who doesn't listen to all his biological podcasts. I know you guys have him on the show. I've seen the titles before, but I'm hearing things that filter in from people that turkey hunt a lot and keep up with that stuff far more than I do. And there's a lot of, for all the positive followers that he has and some of the other guys in his field, there's a lot of people that have negative feelings toward that too. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
With a lot of these season changes
Yeah.
and a lot of the opportunity we've lost. Yes, a lot of it has come from social media or YouTube or whatever, but from my understanding, some of it has come from other areas as well.
Yeah.
And, there's some things that have been put out there from a biological standpoint, and I'm no biologist, so nothing I say is accurate. This is just one guy's opinion. But in just a few years, some of these things have been proven to be very inaccurate, and they were put into place based on theories and people's opinions, and then seasons were changed because of this. We lost opportunity because of this.
Mm-hmm.
And none of these things that were stated that could possibly happen, have ever happened in some of the areas I've hunted, and they're not happening today. And I have a problem with people who reach a certain platform and they start initiating changes that take away from me if that change is not necessary.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to drag Cameron in this, or I don't mean to, but we're going to, I hate to be rude, we're going to have to wrap it up in a minute. I got to get up to the crack of dawn and hit the road. But, when's Tennessee start now? The middle of April? Is it April 12th, 11th, 12th, 15th, somewhere in there?
Mm-hmm.
Well, for years and years and years, Tennessee always started on like the third Saturday of March, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in that neighborhood. I'd be shocked right now and I know they had some bad areas of turkey declines and all that. Everything is cyclical. I mean, everything goes up and down.
That's exactly right.
I'll guarantee you some of those areas 10, 15 years ago that were lower on population in Tennessee may not be back to where it was, but I'm sure a lot of them it is on the up and up. I'm sure there's some counties too that may be even worse off than they were before. That comes with the territory. But by setting the season back to the middle of April, has the pros outweighed the cons? Are you reaping the rewards of losing those first 2 weeks? Maybe so. I don't know. I know the season starting later here hasn't changed a thing. You see what I'm saying?
It doesn't seem to me to have changed anything really.
But he's never going to get that back. See, I don't even know if he's on the phone, but
he's not. He's dropped.
Okay, but you're never going to get that time back.
Yeah.
They're never going to come back and go, hey, we're going to give you this 2 weeks back.
Yeah, and I used Mike Chamberlain as an example, but let's take that and say, okay, there's this habitat improvement project going on. So if you want to donate to this habitat improvement project, if you want to buy equipment, you want to buy the drips to start the control burns, those are $100 each. They're not cheap.
I think where you're going with this, and I agree, it just puts your money where your mouth is.
Well, yeah, and look, and I am by no means singling one person out, because I will tell you, I'll be the first one to tell you, I know of good things, meaning that they have given back, that the hunting public has done. I know Dave does a lot. Dave was on the board of TFT. He may still be, for all I know. And, he's done a lot. So I'm not singling out anybody. I'm just saying that we can all give back, not just the YouTubers, but these people who don't have a YouTube channel, who are going out and they're killing in 6 states, 10 states, 3 states. If we're just taking from the resource and taking advantage of it and not giving back, then it's time. And that can have a positive change. Maybe no one will ever kill a turkey in that area where the habitat was improved on that public ground. But I guarantee you, some kid will walk in there and he might kill his first squirrel, or she might kill her first squirrel. She might kill her first deer, may kill a hog in there. You don't ever know.
Right.
And that is giving back. And so, I think because I do believe there are more turkey hunters now than there have ever been, but I do also believe that we have fewer hunters now, just hunters, period, than maybe we've ever had. And so we need to do more to give back. So anyway, I think just as far as positive things for the sport of turkey hunting, I think that we can all do a little bit more. And if we each did 5% or 10% more than what we did last year or the year before, if it's trapping, if it's volunteering at an NWTF or TFT event, if it's giving money, donating money to those organizations. If you don't like either one of them and you want to donate money to a project going on in your own state, do that. Give 5% more, 10% more, and I think we can have a positive impact. And I'll close with this, Kenny. I think doing that makes us appreciate the sport for what it truly is and what it gives us. Because when we just take and take and take, what we do is we take for granted. And that's a terrible thing to do with wild turkey.
Anything.
Yeah,
absolutely. With anything, that's when things really start to get out of control.
Yeah. And I think it just makes us appreciate more when we give more. And so maybe we appreciate more the fact that we can go sit in the woods and hear 4 turkeys gobble one morning and we don't kill one and we're not all pissed off about it. Or we're hunting a piece of public ground and we hear just one bird gobble and you get in there and you hear somebody else calling and you turn around to walk off and you hear a shot. And instead of getting PO'd about it, you think that's awesome for that person. Maybe it's his first turkey that he killed or her first turkey. Maybe it's their last they will ever kill. Maybe it's some 84-year-old woman who squeezed the trigger and, she died of a heart attack right after that. For me, there's no better place in the world that I'd want to be for that to happen. And having just squeezed the trigger, gone up there and looked at the bird on the ground and the good Lord calls me home, I'm done. I'd be like, I came out on top, baby. So, anyway.
It's funny you mentioned that whole, real quick, that whole NWTF banquet and TFT and all that. When I was a kid growing up, getting into the sport, like we went to the NWTF banquet like every year. Like the first few years they had it where I'm from, it would just be like, it was just getting the chapter started and just a handful of people. And then it kind of slowly grew. Man, it was such a big deal back then because when we had the banquets, you knew the season was getting close. Mm-hmm. The excitement of this is just one more step closer. It signified, it's like the Christmas parades. It signified what was to come. And I can remember like every year, I can remember my mom, she knew at an early age how much I loved it. I still have a turkey blanket, and I use it from time to time that she bought me at a NWTF banquet in 1997. Like my parents would go, and it was a family deal, and my stepdad, dude, he got on a roll. He'd win a gun like every year. I couldn't believe it. I was like, man, it's unreal, dude. He put his name in the hat, boom, won a shotgun. And,
awesome.
Man, to be honest, I couldn't tell you how many years it's been since I've been to an NWTF banquet. And I actually just thought recently about, man, maybe I need to get the lady and the kid and we need to go do something like that just to see what it's like because you're right. You get into, or let me rephrase that. I've gotten into this mode just like this person I explained to you and Cameron about, not wanting to get involved in everybody's business. And I don't want you getting involved in mine, though. There's a trade-off. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's kind of like the older I've gotten, the more prevalent that has become. And I just turkey hunt, and that's kind of where it's been for a while. And, you actually have some good points there about, kind of, doing a little bit more or whatever, because that's how it's become for me. I just work all year and, anything I can do to get a little bit better at turkey hunting, I try to do. And I hope to God I don't ever quit doing that, and you're right though. And it's little things like that. And I just think of the family bond we had doing that stuff, 30 something years ago. And, it'd be neat to see if it's still that way.
Yeah.
Cause there's more to it than just going in the woods and killing a turkey or whatever it may be. It's those little things I look back on, and I have just as many memories of the sport doing that stuff as I do a dead turkey. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I don't have that in my life anymore because it's become, you get older and responsibilities mount. I have a business I'm running and a family to take care of, and you don't have the freedom and flexibility you had when you were in your late teens. You know,
Yeah.
a
No
little different
doubt.
animal.
A lot of people
Well, look, man,
counting
I've
on you.
enjoyed it, dude.
Me too, buddy. Me too. It's
Y'all
always
have-
great having you on. I appreciate your genuineness and appreciate your time that you give and your insight, because you look at things differently than a lot of people do. And so I appreciate that.
I was never going to be the sharpest tool in the shed, but I've come to grips with it, and I'm okay with that.
Well,
good luck to you boys this season. I hope you have a great year, and I hope you have 4 more good days than you do bad.
Same to you, buddy. Appreciate it very much. And, I won't look at it as bragging, but I look at it as celebrating with a friend. Shoot me a text message with a dead turkey picture here in the near future.
I can't tell you how many years it's been since I've done that. I asked a friend of mine a year or two ago, I said, next time you kill a turkey, I said, just see if you don't send it to anybody. Just see if you can kill one this year and not share it with a bunch of people. He couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's weak. That's weak, dude. God, you're weak. But anyway, all right. Well, look, great. And tell Cameron to kiss my ass, okay?
I'll do it, buddy. Be careful
Take
this
care,
year
Andy.
and good luck to you. Thank you.
You too, man. Bye-bye.
Bye. Annual airing of grievances.
It is what it's become, and can't really blame him or us. Just kind of is what it is. And it just, man, I got to tell you, every year, I probably said this on the show, every year I keep thinking like this is the peak, and I am very wrong because the next year the mountain continues. It's kind of like when you get up one of those ridges where like you look and you see all the way up there and you're like, there's where it rolls over, and you finally crest over it and it rolls into about a 5-foot little logging road and then goes straight back up again.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we keep reaching every year on public land. I'm like, okay, I've reached the summit of people. No, it was just a break. We go back again.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess if there's any good news at all with or anything positive, I should say, with the whole public land has just gone totally insane, is that maybe it'll open up private land to where no one's hunting private land, and it'll be easier to go either get permission to hunt private ground or to lease private ground going forward. Maybe that will be what happens. I don't know.
I have my doubts. Seems like the leasing and hunting clubs and all that are getting out of, anyway. It's just the whole thing's getting out of control. But it'll quotas and things like that. That's what'll limit things. Obviously, it's not cost of licenses because those go up and doesn't matter. So, is what it is. I mean, the one positive that I see is that obviously turkeys are able to take a lot more pressure and killing than I probably previously thought. For now, at least. I mean, the harvest and people hunting them has got to be like records everywhere, and they keep every year. I still don't really have a problem finding turkeys.
Yeah, well, and you talked about before we started recording. You talked about a piece of public ground in your home state that just there's an insane number of turkeys being killed off of it.
Yeah, a
this
big
year,
chunk,
especially
thousands and thousands of acres, and they're killing a male turkey, mostly longbeards, per 60 acres.
Yeah, but it's not just this year.
Yeah,
it seems like it's happened over several years in a row.
Yep,
and so that really does blow my mind.
I know, it blows mine too.
So,
but it is what it is.
Yeah,
hope everybody enjoyed the show, and we've got, man, I don't even. What do we have coming up? I can't even remember. We got some more recorded, I know.
We do.
We got Ricky Paget.
He'll
be coming up at some point soon.
We have a call maker coming on. We've got an author that we've got to get back on because Cameron didn't hit the record button on the
Yeah, that was me. Yeah.
But you didn't tell me to hit the record button, so I didn't do it. So it ultimately is your fault, isn't it?
Well, actually, I think if we remember correctly, you actually hit the record button, and then we had to hang up and recall the guy on his home phone, and then we didn't hit record. So
yeah,
it just kind of was a fiasco. So it's okay. It's just an hour and a half of our lives that was completely wasted.
It wasn't completely wasted. We had a heck of a good conversation with the guy.
Yeah.
So
not wasted, I guess, but feels like it was.
We just don't have the content to share with everyone to show for it.
Yeah.
So anyway, But yeah, we'll get him back on. And then, we need to do a season recap and talk about our seasons.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get some of our friends of the show on to talk about their season, how things went for them. So there's a lot of states that are wrapping up here over the next week, 2 weeks, and on into the next 3, because season will be over for pretty much the entire country in about 3 weeks.
I know. It's wild to me. Like, I feel like I'm just winding down and it's pretty much over. And then, talk to our mutual friend in Pennsylvania, and it's like opening day. Like, heading out. Like, what the? It's so crazy to think just now starting. I feel like I'm like on the back end, just a zombie at this point.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I am beat down this year. And I think I said it last year too, because we had that renovation going on last year with that flip property. And so I was working there working my 9 to 5 from about 10 to 5 every day. And then working on the rehab project from about 5:30 until 10:30, 11 o'clock every night, and then getting up and going turkey hunting. And that was physically and mentally brutal.
Yeah.
And this year, it just seems like I think the lack of sleep has hit me more this year than normal.
Yeah.
I usually can get over it in a couple of weeks' time, but I haven't done that this year.
Having a 4-week-old starting turkey season with that, I conquered sleep deprivation that I never knew was possible this year. So that probably is one of my big. Anyway, we need to save all this stuff for our recap show.
We do. I'll edit it all out. Don't worry.
Okay.
Sounds all right, good. Cool.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, let's do that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. We know that you have choices. We appreciate you spending your time with us. We hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll look forward to seeing you again next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thanks for tuning in. You were just listening to the Turkey Hunter podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please go on over to iTunes and leave a 5-star review. And make sure to head over to www.iamturkeyhunting.com to subscribe for free turkey hunting tips, tactics, strategies, and product reviews to help you have a more successful turkey season. And stay tuned for upcoming episodes on hunting afternoon birds, how to film your hunt, and the breeding cycle of hens, as well as some guest interviews. Thanks again for listening. We know your time is valuable, and we appreciate you sharing some of it with us. See you next week.